Hello there. Today is, I think, day number 13 or 14 of doing research for my next essay entry. It should be essay number 4, essay vlog number 4. And I've noticed that there's so much to learn. There's so much to learn, but it's fascinating to be able to start digging in deeper into knowledge. It's really really exciting, and I've been reading scientific papers. And okay, so I went to school for computer science. I'm a computer scientist. Does it make me a scientist for real? I don't think so. I mean, when I was writing code many years ago, I was able to come up with my own system so that my writing would be more efficient and faster and easy for me to understand. So it carried a lot of easy logic into it. But when I started reading these papers, man, they were heavy, really heavy, because number one, the amount of information is so vast, and these researchers, they're amazing because they go deep into their investigations. And when they put this information available to us, I guess, I don't know if they are expecting us to understand everything, but I guess at the same time, it is our responsibility to educate ourselves so we can, be able to digest the information that they're providing in these, amazing pieces of information. So I'm not ready. So the topic is going to be about artificial intelligence and consciousness, which basically I'm asking, can a machine ever become conscious of itself? Science has not been able to define consciousness precisely. As a matter of fact, they say that their concept of consciousness is ill-defined. That's how they express it. And of course, they can tell you what consciousness do, or how is it that the brain can contain consciousness or produce consciousness. I'm not really sure what the word or the right word should be, because for scientists, the brain is just a bunch of chemicals, and there is a manufacturing plant of chemicals that are being mixed that can produce awareness, and they can produce thinking, and therefore can produce sort of consciousness, but it's not really defined as such. And that's the tricky part, I guess, of this investigation that I am currently working on. Now, what I've learned though is that, and this has nothing to do with the actual research, what I learned is that all these papers, they're amazing. They have a lot of information, but they all have the same format. And I know you can actually Google, how to read or how to understand research papers, and they will tell you there. But this was my own observation, and I am so proud of it, because I quite frankly, I didn't ask, or I didn't think of asking anyone, or like Googling this information in reference to what are the formats of a research paper. And I found out that all of them have a very specific format. So like, for instance, this paper, all of them, I'm using this as an example because this one also has the same format. Like, let's use this one. This one has an abstract, okay? And so this one also has an abstract. You see that? So the abstract is pretty much from the researching standpoint, it gives you a snapshot of what this paper is all about. So in other words, if the paper has like 56 pages, like this one has 56 pages, you don't need to read those 56 pages in order to realize that, this is not what I was looking for. You can refer to the abstract. And if it's something that you really are interested, and this is the information that you were looking for, then you can continue reading the rest of the paper. And after the abstract, you're going to have an introduction, right? The introduction is going to provide you with, their findings and how they apply their concepts and their ideas and be able to tell you pretty much kind of like a summary of what is that they're looking for. Okay. And then depending on the research, they're going to give you some methods, maybe the means and methods that they utilized in order to come up with their conclusion, correct? Some of them, they're going to give you models that are pertaining to the specific tasks or the specific items of the research. Then what's important also is that they will give you charts or even diagrams like this one, and most of them are going to be very complex and hard for you to understand. Don't pay attention to that. Just continue reading, because sometimes they want to, and most of them they use mathematical formulas in order for them to prove what they're looking for, or to prove their theory rather. And it can be very confusing. So you can just continue reading the information as if you're just ignoring pretty much these diagrams and tables for now. And then at the end of the paper, you are going to have what is called the conclusion, right? And like in this case, at the end of this paper, you have this section that is in reference to the conclusion. And then you'll be able to see also the acknowledgements and all the references that they used in order to prepare their research paper. Now, something interesting that I like to share also that can help you is the coloring system that I use in order for me to make my research or my reading much more productive. Okay, so I use a coloring system. Basically, I use 3 colors, and the yellow color is about doing more research. So whenever I see something in yellow, highlight something in yellow, that means I need to do more research about these specific items. Then I use the orange color, which is something that it is the emotional part of what I'm reading. So if it's something connects with me and it changes my perspective, and it's like wow type of thing, then I highlight it in orange. So all these parts in this specific research paper were able to change my perspective, and kind of like I felt connected with that information, right? And then I have the blue color, which means that something that I definitely agree with, right? As you can see, nothing is really blue because I cannot agree with everything I see here. Definitely. That's why I need to do more research. And most of the colors that I've used have seen more research or change of perspective. Anyway, so the whole point of this entry was because I wanted to sort of like share my journey in diving into these amazing topics. Also, what I use at the same time is, by the way, this one is, I use the blue color in the abstract because this is exactly what I was looking for. So I agree with this. This is what I was looking for. So basically, I had to read the entire paper, and it was great. It is exactly what I was looking for. Another thing that I use is a yellow notepad. I use a yellow notepad so I can just write all the, I would say, information that I would like to get, right? So that when I am reading, I'm comparing, is this what I'm looking for? So I can compare with what I'm reading. And this is pretty much when I go, when I go too deep into this, I also use a composition notebook. And here I write like a lot of my findings. I keep writing with my own words, what I am understanding, right? So, and this is a great method for me because I pretty much write with my own understanding. So when I read this information out of this book and I compare that with this, right? It makes me digest the information much better and be able to learn what I'm reading. So it's I think I'm becoming a sort of like a scientific researcher and on my own terms, and I'm enjoying it. I think it's amazing, and I really do recommend you doing that whenever you are curious about any specific topic. Don't just be happy and content with what you see online or what you hear, or when you see on social media. Become your own researcher, become your own scientist, because number one, it's great for your brain. It activates different networks in the brain. Uh, it makes your neurons to fire up, and it's great for also concentration, right? So all your cognitive areas in the brain, right, especially the ones that are on the sides of the frontal cortex, they're fired up tremendously, and it makes you, I guess, more prone to become a better a meditator as well, because meditation it's about focusing and concentrating on a specific object, right? Could be, I don't know, your breath or a mantra. So the whole point of becoming your own scientist or your own researcher is to educate yourself, number one, and number two, help your brain become much more active, and to be able to, find out the information for yourself. I mean, it's very, very complex. That's why I am very fascinated by this new journey. But anyway, so this is it. I meant to do the essay vlog today, but I'm not done yet, and I'm okay with it. But I just wanted to share how I am doing and how I am becoming my own, I guess, neuroscientist. That's awesome. Well, and my mind, because the mind again is like, okay, so how can you do, why are you doing this, right? That's my first question. And the result of all this effort and all these days reading, like I woke up in the morning, I meditate, I do my meditation, and I get my cup of tea, and I'm here sitting reading, and that's all I've been doing, And but why? Because of curiosity, right? Because I just want to do it. But am I really a scientist? And my mind is like, yeah, you study computer science. Yeah, but am I really a scientist? Anyway, I'll see you on the next one.